Welcome to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where enduring wisdom meets the strength of presence, and where we uncover the truths modern society refuses to teach men. Today we're going to speak about something every man has felt, but few will admit. That sharp sting when a woman you desired seemed uninterested, dismissive, or even cold. The topic is, let her chase the man she once ignored. Too many men invest their hearts, their energy, even their dignity in pursuing someone who won't give them the time of day. But what if I told you there is a way, rooted in ancient wisdom, emotional intelligence, and masculine self-mastery, to reverse this dynamic, to become so compelling, so grounded in your purpose, that the woman who once overlooked you can't help but pursue you? This isn't about manipulation, it's about becoming the man who no longer needs her validation to be ticked. And paradoxically, that's what ignites her desire. So in this video, we'll go deep. We'll talk about the ancient teachings of Stoicism and timeless human behavior. We'll discuss why women behave the way they do when they ignore men. We'll explore what men must do to transform rejection into attraction. And we'll finish with real, actionable steps to make her chase you, not as a game, but as a consequence of your authentic growth. Because you don't deserve to beg for affection. You deserve to command it through your very presence. Before we dive in, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe, where we don't just give you advice, we give you truth. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss the wisdom that can transform your relationships and your life. Chapter 1. Understanding her behavior. Why women ignore men. Listen carefully, brother. Before you can make a woman chase you, you have to understand why she felt comfortable ignoring you in the first place. Most men make the mistake of taking rejection personally. They think, she doesn't see my worth, and feel crushed. But you must learn to see it with stoic clarity. Women don't ignore men out of cruelty. Often it's subconscious. A woman is biologically and psychologically wired to test a man's strength, leadership, and independence. When she senses you're too eager, too available, too willing to revolve your life around her, she knows you don't have the grounded, masculine presence she craves. In ancient times, women sought warriors, leaders, men who commanded respect without saying a word. A man who begged for her attention was unfit to protect or lead. Modern dating hasn't changed this fundamental truth. When you chase relentlessly, texting, calling, complimenting, pushing for dates, while she shows indifference, you're revealing your neediness. And in her mind, neediness signals weakness, even if you are a good man with a good heart. If you don't master your emotions and your self-worth, you broadcast desperation. And no woman wants to choose a man who needs her to validate his value. So when she ignores you, don't get angry, don't get sad, don't react. Understand it for what it is, a test of your frame, a reflection of her instincts, a mirror showing you your own lack of boundaries or self-respect. Because here's the truth, when you grow into a man who knows who he is, who is unbothered by rejection, who radiates calm, unshakable certainty, she will notice, even if she once dismissed you. It's not about playing games. It's about embodying the masculine energy that women have always, throughout human history, been drawn to. And the first step is to stop resenting her for ignoring you. Instead, thank her, silently, for showing you exactly what you need to fix. Because once you understand her behavior, you can start changing yours in a way that transforms the entire dynamic. Drop a comment below if you've ever been ignored by a woman you truly wanted, and how it changed you. Chapter 2. Mastering your frame, becoming the man she can't ignore. Now that you understand why she ignored you, let's talk about what to do next. This is where most men get it wrong. They think, if I ignore her back, she'll come running. But that's just childish mirroring. It's not genuine strength. You don't want to pretend you're unbothered. You want to become unbothered. That difference is everything. When we study the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus, they didn't advocate acting cold as a strategy. They taught mastering your own mind, emotions, and desires so that nothing external could shake you. Women can sense this difference. A man who ignores her as a tactic still leaks neediness. He's waiting for her reaction. He's watching his phone. He's just as enslaved to her attention, and he's simply trying to hide it. But the man who truly doesn't need her validation, he's focused on building himself, he's developing his purpose, he's tending to his mind, body, and spirit. He's cultivating excellence. This is the man who can walk away without anger, who can say no without drama, who can face rejection without losing his center. And paradoxically, this is the man women chase, because he embodies what ancient cultures always revered in men: discipline, strength, purpose, emotional sovereignty. Think of the samurai polishing his sword, even in peacetime, the philosopher mastering his thoughts, the craftsman perfecting his work. This is what modern men have lost. Too many give up their mission in exchange for cheap validation, and women see it. They test for it. If you want her to chase you, especially if she once ignored you, you must reclaim your frame, your sense of self that cannot be bought by beauty or sex. She must see that you are unshaken by her approval or rejection, that you will not compromise your values or dignity for fleeting attraction. Because here's the truth: a woman wants to feel safe in your strength. Even when she tests you, she hopes you'll pass. She wants to know you won't crumble or grovel. When you master your frame, you communicate one powerful message without saying a word. I want you, but I don't need you. My life is already whole. And that is what makes her curious, makes her reconsider, makes her wonder what she missed. So stop asking, how do I make her notice me? Start asking, how do I become so whole that her noticing me is inevitable? Because when you do that, you don't just change how she sees you, you change who you are. Drop a comment below if you're ready to focus on your purpose and become the man she can't ignore. Chapter 3. The Art of Withdrawal. Turning the tables without games. Now listen closely, my brother. If you truly want her to chase you, the woman who once ignored you, you must master one of the hardest but most powerful arts a man can learn: the art of withdrawal. But let's be clear right now. Withdrawal is not manipulation. It's not ghosting her out of spite. It's not punishing her for rejecting you. It's not going silent so she'll beg you back. Those are the tactics of boys who think love is a game. What I'm talking about is a mature, intentional shift of energy, a decision to stop investing yourself in someone who doesn't reciprocate. Because if you're honest, you'll admit it. Most men overinvest. They send endless texts, hoping for crumbs of attention. They bend over backwards to please her. They make her the center of their emotional world, even as she pulls away. This is why she ignores you. Because in her eyes, you're no longer a challenge, you're no longer a mystery, you're no longer a man with a life of his own. And here's the ancient wisdom you need to understand. What is freely given without value is rarely appreciated. In the Stoic tradition, there's a concept called apatheia, often misunderstood today. It doesn't mean you don't care. It means you are serenely detached, unshaken by external events. You don't cling to praise. You don't crumble at rejection. You remain centered regardless of what happens outside of you. A man who can withdraw his attention without anger is powerful, because in that moment you're saying, I refuse to fight for a place in someone's life who doesn't want me there. My time, my energy, my love are gifts, not entitlements. When you realize she's ignoring you, step back, calmly, silently, with dignity. It's not about slamming the door, it's about quietly closing it behind you. This does 3 critical things. 1, it protects your self-respect. No more humiliating yourself by chasing someone who isn't choosing you. You break the pattern of begging for scraps of affection. 2, it disrupts her expectations. Women are used to men trying harder when they pull away. When you don't chase, you defy her unconscious test. She wonders, why isn't he trying harder? Did I misjudge him? 3, it gives her space to feel your absence. Attraction often grows in the vacuum you leave behind. Desire is fed by mystery, not certainty. Modern men resist this. They fear, if I stop, I'll lose her forever. But that fear is exactly what keeps them stuck. Because here's the truth. Neediness kills attraction. If you can't bear to lose her, you'll never be free to choose her. You'll accept anything, disrespect, indifference, minimal effort, just to keep her around. But a man who can withdraw, he controls himself, he controls the frame, he controls the dynamic, not through force, but through self-respect. Remember what the ancient philosophers taught. First, possess yourself before you try to possess anything external. If you can't master your own urges, the need to explain yourself, to call, to beg, how can you expect anyone to respect you? When you withdraw, you reclaim your power. You say, without words, I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to beg. My energy is valuable. I will give it only to those who value it in return. And you don't make speeches about it. You don't send dramatic goodbyes, you simply stop. That quiet exit is deafening, because it forces her to reflect. Why did he stop trying? Was he really that interested? Did I underestimate him? It creates space for desire, space for curiosity, space for her to consider what she lost. And not every woman will chase you back, let's be honest. Some will move on, and that's fine, because the purpose of withdrawal is not to get her back. It's to get yourself back, to remind you that you don't have to convince anyone to choose you, to break your addiction to chasing validation, to train yourself in the hardest but most rewarding masculine virtue, restraint. Because real men know when to walk away. It doesn't make you cold, it makes you disciplined. It protects your heart from being wasted on the undeserving. And if she does come back, she won't be returning to the same man she once ignored. She'll find a man with boundaries, a man who cannot be manipulated, a man who knows his value and will not compromise it. That is the man she will chase. Not because you played a trick, but because you became the man she respects. So the next time you feel the urge to send that last text, to plead your case, to win her over, stop, breathe, withdraw, and remember this: your silence speaks more powerfully than any words, because it says, I choose myself. And when you truly choose yourself, you become the man she can't help but notice, even if she once ignored you. Drop a comment below if you're ready to choose yourself and master the power of walking away. Chapter 4. Building an undeniable life. So she can't help but chase brother. Lean in for this last lesson, because this is the part most men never grasp. And it's the reason so many stay stuck in cycles of neediness, heartbreak, and wasted potential. Here's the truth that most dating coaches won't tell you. You can't make a woman chase you with tricks, tactics, or well-rehearsed lines. You can only become the man she chases by building a life so compelling, so purposeful, so undeniably magnetic that she can't ignore you even if she tries. This is the final and most important step in the journey, because once you understand her behavior, once you master your frame, once you learn to withdraw with dignity, you must build. You must build yourself. You must build a life so rich, so full, so meaningful, that even if she never returns, you are infinitely better off for it. This is ancient wisdom in its purest form. The Stoics taught, your character is your fate. Epictetus put it simply, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. In love, that means you don't talk about your standards, you live them. You don't complain about her rejection, you use it to sharpen your focus. You don't wait for her to choose you, you choose your own path, because when you do this, you become the kind of man women are naturally drawn to. Not because you're chasing them, but because you're too busy becoming the best version of yourself. Let's break this down. Clarify your mission. What drives you? What keeps you up at night? What are you here to accomplish before you die? Most men drift. They have no mission, no purpose, no clear direction. A man without a mission is like a ship without a rudder, adrift, vulnerable to every current, every storm, every whim of fate. But a man with a mission is magnetic, because purpose is rare. Women can sense it in your eyes, in your posture, in your choices. It's the invisible force that makes them respect you even when you're silent. So get clear. Write it down, pursue it relentlessly, because the man who is busy with his purpose cannot be obsessed with chasing anyone's validation. Master your emotions. Let's be clear. This isn't about suppressing your feelings, it's about mastering them. Anger, jealousy, neediness, fear. These are natural human emotions, but they are chains for the undisciplined man. The Stoics taught us you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Mastery doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you don't act out of impulse. You feel the anger beyond, but you don't send the hateful text. You feel the hurt, but you don't beg for her attention. You feel the jealousy, but you don't try to control her. Emotional mastery is rare, that's why it's so attractive, because the man who governs himself can never be ruled by anyone else. Develop your body. Don't underestimate this. Your body is not just flesh, it's a living testament to your discipline. When you train, you're not just building muscle, you're forging character. You're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. You're signaling to the world and to her that you respect yourself enough to care for the vessel you inhabit. Women notice, they may not always say it, but they see the discipline in your frame, the quiet confidence in your movement, the power in your presence. Strength is not vanity. It's discipline made visible. Cultivate your mind. A strong body without a sharp mind is incomplete. Read, study, reflect, learn from ancient philosophy, understand psychology, absorb history. The man who can think deeply and speak with wisdom is rare in this shallow age. When you cultivate your mind, you become interesting. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you have something to say worth hearing. She will see it in your eyes, that depth, that curiosity, that awareness of the world beyond yourself. Nurture your spirit. This is what most men forget. You are not just mind and body. You are spirit. Whether it's prayer, meditation, time in nature, or silent reflection, find a way to anchor yourself in something greater than desire. Because the man who knows there is something bigger than himself, who knows there is something more important than approval, who can be still even in uncertainty, that man is unshakable. And women, even if they can't explain why, sense that depth. They are drawn to it. But define your standards. This is non-negotiable. Stop accepting the bare minimum. Stop tolerating disrespect. Stop pursuing women who don't reciprocate. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate. If you make it easy for her to ignore you, she will. If you let her disrespect you without consequence, she will lose respect for you. Standards are not rules for other people. They are commitments you make to yourself. A man with standards is not harsh, he's clear. And that clarity is magnetic. When you live this way, everything changes. You no longer need her attention. You no longer fear her rejection. You become the man she cannot ignore because you're not chasing her. You're building something real, something so undeniably rich, full, and purposeful that it draws people in without effort. She will see it, your strength, your calm, your presence. She will remember the man who walked away, not in anger but in quiet certainty. The man who refused to beg. The man who valued himself enough to let her go. And if she chooses to return, it will be on new terms. She will be coming back to a man who knows his worth, a man she cannot manipulate, a man she now has to prove herself to. But even if she doesn't, you will have won something far greater. Your freedom, your purpose, your self-respect. Because at the end of the day, brother, this was never about her. It was always about you. You are the prize. A man who has mastered himself is irresistibly magnetic, not just to women, but to the world. So let her chase, not because you played games, but because you became the man she should have chosen from the start. Drop a comment below if you're ready to build the life that makes you impossible to ignore. If you found this valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Stoic Golden Tribe. Join us on this journey of reclaiming true masculinity, ancient wisdom, and emotional mastery. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson that can transform not just your relationships, but your entire life.